Get a better broadcast, podcast and voiceover voice. Today on the show we're going to be talking about backtiming and also what is it about backtiming that means it's a skill that you may need to know about in your voiceover career or your radio career. Well, first of all, let's explain backtiming. Some stations or programs might hand back to a network, maybe automatically, some kind of automatic switching system at a certain time. And that has to be to the second. There may be silence or dead air if a presenter ends too early, or a crash out if their output is taken over midway through a sentence or a story. You can imagine how that would sound if you're still talking, the top of the hour comes, or that junction comes, and you miss it, you're carrying on talking, and your sentence stops way through. It's going to sound really, really odd, isn't it? A bit like that. So each script is timed at the average speaking rate of 3 words a second. We saw this, didn't we, a few days ago? And with that figure, the presenter or producer calculates the time they need to have started reading the script by if they're going to finish on time. And that calculation is the back time. Now, additionally, as well as that, because you may make a slight mistake, you may hesitate over a word, you may decide to change the speed of your read during the course of the script reading, during the course of that last minute or two, whatever it happens to be. So additionally, you can annotate your page with any markers that indicate by which time you need to have started a certain sentence or paragraph by. Now, obviously, that's a little bit tricky to do if you're reading from screen, but obviously there are ways around that. You can print something off, for example, or make a note on a different piece of paper. So let's go through that again. If you know that the script has got to be started by 59 minutes past the hour, to give you a full 59 seconds to read it, because you want to leave that last second as a buffer, don't you? As a beat before you crash into the network programming. You don't want to take it to that full top hour minute. Then you can also mark the subsequent paragraphs within that 59 seconds at what time you need to have started them by as well, because then you've got a bit of an aide memoir, you've got a bit of a guide as you go through that final minute about where you need to have started, where you need to have got to at those different posts. Now, if a script is written in a pyramid style, we mentioned this before, that is with the most important information first, the least important information last, then it could be that you can mark your script to clearly show each sentence and then cut from the bottom. So if you do run out of time, or you sense you're running out of time with, say, 10 seconds to go, leave off that last sentence, and then you're going to be able to hit that final post on time. It's what I do most days of the week when I'm reading the news, when I'm reading the weather on a well-known British broadcasting company output. I've got to finish my bulletins by 3 minutes past the hour. The automatic timing on my scripts tells me how much content I've got for that 3 minutes. And it'll say something like, 2 minutes 58 seconds, or maybe 3 minutes and 4 seconds. And I know that I've got to read slightly faster or read slightly slower. But doing that back time over the course of 3 minutes can be a little bit tricky. So I've got some other information right at the end of the bulletin, which happens to be the weather, which I can either do a long weather or a short weather or the duration somewhere in between. So I'm certainly going to be talking about what's happening today. I can talk about what's happening tonight if I've got time. And if I've got more time, I can talk about what's going to be happening tomorrow as far as the weather goes. And if I don't have enough time, I can drop tomorrow's forecast. If I have even less time, I can drop tonight's forecast and just do today's forecast. So over time, you'll be able to fluently ad-lib around some content, like the weather. Yeah, it doesn't necessarily need to be read word for word. You can pick out some of the details, like the temperature or whether it's going to rain or not and things like that. And then you can talk to time. Or sight reading and having an eye on the clock to see how long you have left in which to complete the read. And those presentation skills come with a lot of experience and will require you to, if necessary, quicken or slow your pace as you try and fill the time available. So that's today's look at backtiming. We'll pick it up tomorrow with a bit more about backtiming. What do you do if there's somebody else you're relying on? Maybe there's a guest you're relying on. You don't know how long they are going to be speaking for. Will that mean that you miss your backtime? What do you do? I'll explain it tomorrow. As Get a Better Broadcast, podcast and Voice Over Voice continues. From London, I'm Peter Stewart.